we left off Yud Beis. Second paragraph, Yud Beis. Sil Sishorim. Hini ach she'odan uzer. He said, after we know this, that the objective of life is to achieve shleimus, because otherwise a human being wouldn't have to be endowed with the neshama, which is so exalted and spiritual. You could be an intellectual animal if the purpose of existence is the physical world. But since the objective is ultimately to achieve spirituality, therefore you're endowed with the neshama. And what is the physical existence? It's only a medium, it's a means to an end. We understand he says, the gravity of fulfilling mitzvahs, which is incumbent upon us, and the preciousness of the avodah, asher b'yodeinu. He says, these are the only mediums which bring us to that true perfection. You're not getting there any other way. Without them, you will not achieve it whatsoever. I'll give you an example. Person wants to be a genius. Person says, you eat bananas every morning, 6 bananas a day, Chiquita bananas. For 80 years, you'll be a genius. Okay? You go work out at the gym. You get yourself a PhD from Oxford, Harvard, and whatever it is, and Stanford, and whatever it is. You're going to have a share in the world to come. It has no relevance. No relevance whatsoever. You're going to mine diamonds, and you're going to have precious diamonds, and it's because you'll be a genius. You're going to become enlightened. How are you going to become enlightened? But don't you realize its value? What does value have to do with being enlightened? You may become wealthy, but you're not become enlightened. The only thing that could touch upon a person's spirituality, the only medium is mitzvahs. I mean, you could take the material and utilize it to bring that about, but the material unto itself, it's not the medium. But to be able to achieve that objective, it's only accumulation of all these mediums. A person says, I picked my mitzvah. My mitzvah is tefillin. My mitzvah is Shabbat. My mitzvah is tikkun olam. Right? You put sewers in Rwanda. Put in a sanitation system. Okay, it's not getting you there. It's kibbutz kol emtsoim, asher nimtzu asher shimshu lagio, which are found and which accommodate him to achieve that. Ukvi koach emtso mishimusham, and based on the koach, the effect of those mediums, and the way to utilize, came yeh tachlis hanolad mehim. Now the question is, we speak about what is the effect of a mitzvah, based on how you perform it. What do you do the mitzvah b'shleimus? Do you address every aspect of the mitzvah? The person wears tefillin, were they written mehudavtik? Are they beautiful? Zekelim aveyu. That's one aspect. When you put them on, were you focused? Did you put it on lishmo? That's the koach mitzvah. Is it a deficient mitzvah, or is it a fully infused mitzvah? It's an empowered mitzvah. Based on what you invest in the mitzvah, that will determine to what degree that medium will advance you in your spirituality. Whatever we do. When you study, do you study for intellectualism? Even if you're studying Torah, what's the emphasis? I feel enlightened. I feel now I want to be more knowledgeable. For what reason do you want to be more knowledgeable? To be proficient, to understand what Hashem is, or to be able to engage with other people and spar with them, in Torah. When I go to the shiur, I also want to speak up. What's the reason? That determines what is the quality of the learning. It has value, but what is the ultimate quality of that? It's a deficient quality. Eventually, maybe till he'll achieve it, but until he does it right, he doesn't achieve that level. In proportion to these efforts, the effects will be apparent. He says the slightest degree of change in the medium. Tibochi toldosa beber vadoi, vagiz manatachlis hanod lebekif tzkulam. Ultimately, it'll be able to be determined the outgrowth with definiteness when the time of the achievement will be evaluated. Moshe Ksafti. You have certain, manufacturing. Is it under sterile condition? Is everything done perfectly or not? Is there some kind of whatever it is? There's a certain degree of contamination. It's not 100%. Same thing with the mitzvah. The moment you intermingle something which is not appropriate, it's obvious in the end product. Everything's obvious in the end product. Whether it's deficient, whether it's contaminated, whatever you infuse in it, the way you develop it, that's the end result. But you don't know. You have two people live their lives identically. Outwardly, superficially, they look like each one's the same level of tzaddik. But they could be worlds apart, the two of them. One does it lishma, the other one does it shlo lishma. One does it, both do it lishma. Let's say one does it mitochadochak, meaning he sacrificed because he doesn't have the ability. The other person has all the time in the world because he's a wealthy man. So it's not such an effort. For the other person, it's tremendous sacrifice and effort. It's a different dimension. But they're both performing identically at the same level. But it's a different degree of sacrifice and level of commitment. The end result is a different result. I once said, it's Reb Chanina ben Dosa, who was Kol Olam Nizim B'Shul Chanina B'ni. Why? Because Dailo B'Kav Charuvin, Erev Shabbos. The man lived on almost nothing. And that wasn't his great accomplishment, but it was Dailo. It was sufficient. It was okay. He didn't want more. If that's what God gives him, Dailo. Sufficient. You know what that means? A level of and because of that, the whole world is sustained in his merit. All the bracha, the wealthy man that he has bracha is in his merit. Kol Kol Nizim B'Shvil Chanina B'ni. I have a question. How do I read your mind so well? I was waiting for that guy. See that? Even Avrami knows it. Okay? Exactly. Last sermon out of Englewood, make sure to praise your wife. You want Shalom Bayis, just keep praising her. Okay? It's Hashem, you're teaching me. V'zeh borur. He says this is absolutely clear. What you invest, that's what comes out at the end of the day. Person has to write a report, and he does it in a very haphazard way, without sufficient amount of preparation. At the end of the day, when he presents that report or that evaluation, anybody who's the professional, the expert, he sees what it is. He says, now, with definiteness, the exactness that you apply to mitzvahs and avoda, muchal sheyeh b'tachlis hadikduk. It has to be with the ultimate level of meticulousness and exactness. Kashi daktek, daktu shoklei azov ha'ptinim yokram. When you weigh gold or diamonds, if the weighing process, the scale is not perfect, so what is it? I'm dealing with diamonds, not dealing with feathers or with iron. Yeah, pininim. Some interpret it as diamonds. Yikore mipninim. Why? Rashi says by Yaakov, right? Or it says by Lavan, Yaakov came with nothing. It says he hugged him, he kissed him. He was looking for the wealth. So why? Because a person keeps diamonds on his person. They're hidden. That's why they're called pininim. It's held on your person. You don't keep it in the open. So that's the reason why diamonds are called pininim rather than yalomim. Yalom. Yalom is also a diamond, Yalomim. Ki toldosam noledis b'shleimus hamiti. The end result only comes about through doing it with true perfection, vayokar anitzchi, and bringing about what's eternally precious, shein yokar l'mayim menu, to bring about that result. You know, it's interesting. I heard from my Mashgiach Tzarech Levrocha in Shanghai during the war. The heat in Shanghai, was oppressive. You can't imagine. You couldn't even wear your shirt sleeves down because, firstly, they weren't able to wash their clothing that often, even though they were able to once in a while. They would have such skin irritations that if the skin wasn't exposed to the air, just from the perspiration and the material being on the skin, they would form all kinds of skin problems. You know, the only one who wore always was the Mashgiach. He always wore a shirt with his frock, always. You'll never see a picture of Chatzkel Levenstein in Shanghai without his black coat and a shirt, always. So there was a question on Shabbos. On Shabbos, when you eat the Suda, do you wear a jacket? They wore white suits. They didn't wear dark suits in Shanghai. So, do you wear a jacket? What was the question? What has greater value, Oneg Shabbos or Kovod Shabbos? Okay? So, if it's Kovod Shabbos, regardless of the inconvenience or the discomfort, you wear the jacket. You go before a king. Regardless of temperature, you don't go in shirt sleeves when you stand in the presence of a king. Is it pleasurable? No. So that's what has greater value, Kovod Shabbos or Oneg Shabbos? They ruled Kovod Shabbos. Therefore, the Shabbos, unless the person just couldn't deal with it, they wore the jackets. It's Kovod. Does it make a difference? It does, because if you really understand what Shabbos is, you have to acknowledge it and you have to dress appropriately. So that itself will determine what the end result is going to be. That determines what dimension of spirituality did you bring about. To be continued.